So tell me first of all why you decided to kind of pursue the Marines.
It was the best branch in the military that I deemed fit, that I wanted to participate in, and they offered me help to go to college.
Gotcha. And why did you want to participate?
Because I figured that it was the best way, first of all, to get some help to go to school, and also because it was something that I can do also for my country.
So in the reserves, that means you can get called up at any time.
Yes.
Okay. So you're studying, and what happens?
Well, I was there in my first semester at UMass, and the call came in at around, it was the month, actually, of October, the beginning of October, and we were activated. We were told that we were going to be going to the Gulf. So we took our bags and packed and got ready and went to Camp Lejeune to do some exercises and get acclimated and everything to go to the Gulf.
Gotcha. And when that call came in October, you said?
Yes.
What did you think?
I took a really deep breath at that moment in time. But it was what I had signed up for, so I was there to serve as I got called upon to do my duty.
And so you got there, and here you are in a new land. What do you think?
It was amazing because it was nothing that I've ever seen before. It was very barren. There was no foliage or anything. After being in New England, it's quite different scenery. And being 19 at the time, there wasn't much to think than just keep going with the same fervor that we received training and what we were there to do.
So what is your assignment there? Do they tell you your assignment before you leave Camp Lejeune or once you get there?
No, you do what the Marine Corps tells you to do. I was in the infantry, so my assignment of jobs, whatever it was, came from the chain of command, and that's what we did while we were there.
And what was your assignment?
We were to participate in the infantry. We got deployed with the front lines at one point. Then it was our duty, our job, to handle enemy prisoners of war.
Okay. So what does that entail, processing prisoners?
Well, depending on the level of the person that we either captured or gave up in battle, some of them were detained to be interrogated. And the majority, first of all, were pretty much processed, deloused with chemicals, mainly Lindane, to prevent lice and other things from spreading amongst ourselves also, which was a preventative measure. Sometimes, given the speed of the nature of things happening, we just put our hands in it, pretty much put it on them and stuff and process them. And sometimes when we weren't doing that, we put it on the blankets that they had and stuff like that we gave them while we were there also.
So you would put this in their hair, on their body, on the blankets, and this is mainly something for hygiene.
Yes, for hygiene, for lice, to kill lice.
And this is important to do why?
Because the lice also propagate other diseases that if we would have gotten them because we were in the same conditions or close to the same conditions that the enemy was, which we did not have any water to bathe and do a lot of things and stuff, they could have also come and we could have gotten the lice also on ourselves. So it was also to prevent disease.
When did you learn that you had cancer?
February of 2008.
What was it that precipitated you going to the doctor that particular time, and what kind of test did they do on you that you realized you had cancer?
I was actually building a floating marina. I was managing a project in Massachusetts, in Hull. We were putting a floating marina out in the middle of winter, and I was having issues breathing. And I thought I was just had a cold, I was sick, or maybe bronchitis, so I went to get checked out because I couldn't breathe that well. And when Dr. Savaretti had me go, the current doctor I had me go to get a chest x-ray. And that's when the tumor was discovered.
And where is the tumor? Where did they discover this, and how did they do that?
Well, it was in the center of my chest. It was in behind my sternum plate. That's where the thymus is located. And what the tumor was doing was pretty much closing my larynx up a bit, and that's why I couldn't breathe properly.
Gotcha. And how did they discover that? Was that with like an MRI or an X-ray?
An X-ray.
An X-ray?
Yes.
Okay. And how big is this tumor?
I guess it was, according to the doctor that operated on me, Dr. Moulton, it was about the size of a softball or so from all the pieces that they had put together, because he thought he was going to be going in there about 2 hours, an hour or so, and it lasted about 7 because how far the tumor had spread, or the tumors, because it went around my lymphatic system, I guess. I'm not a doctor when it comes to that, but it had spread in many different places.
So you start, what is the treatment for this? He goes in, there's surgery, obviously, that
Yes.
you told me about.
I went in for surgery, and that was done towards the end of March. I had the first surgery, and then for the remainder of whatever they could not resect by surgery, the recommendation was to have radiation. That's what the doctors, my oncologist, surgeon, had agreed upon, was radiotherapy.
Okay. So you have radiation?
Yes, I had to wait a bit after I recuperated, and then I had radiation for almost 6 weeks. I had the surgery, the first surgery. I had radiation. I had a second surgery, and because the tumors were not receding, they were still, my current oncologist, Dr. Gandhi, my tumors were still present. There was still some show and concern. And at this point in time is when I started getting into the discussion with the doctor that basically what they're doing for me is basically managing my my health and the remainder that I have of my life. And that was the other type of conversation, because we all hope that even if we have cancer, that there may be a cure, or that something will happen that it will go away. But once those type of conversations start occurring, it's different. And then you're very much aware that it's not going to be cured, that it's not going to go away, and that you're basically managing the remainder of the time that you have left.
So by you spreading this stuff on these prisoners, how confident are you that this is what your condition is right now?
100%.
No doubt.
No doubt in my mind.